Hi, I'm Raymond, and you're listening to Insert Quest Here. Today's quest is Base Raiders. That's right, we're back with Base Raiders after a Christmas and New Year's break. And this week, this month, I suppose, our heat takes our racers to the Hollow Earth, or at the very least, Subterraria. They will be going down a volcano to try and gain access to this lost land of megafauna and megaflora. How about we have our players introduce themselves, starting with Ryan.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan. You might recognize my voice from the actual play podcast Raiderheads, which you should all be listening to. Today I'm going to be playing Amriel. Amriel is a fallen angel, otherwise known as a demon. She was cast out of heaven with the other rebel angels. Recently, she was summoned to Earth by an evil sorceress who then disappeared in Ragnarok, and she has since become a pro base raider.
Brilliant.
These other two.
Oh, I just muted my mic because I thought I had to unmute it. Hello, I am Alex. You might also recognize me from Ragnarok. And today I shall be reprising my role as Greg, the sentient alien nanocloud, who, if you stand inside, smells like a fart. Greg was sent to Earth as a reconnaissance cloud to see what the deal here was with the species and how his species could best interact with them. But while he was on his way, his species was enslaved. So now he became a base raider to hopefully find some tech that will allow him to free his race from subjugation.
Cool. And I'm Finn, and I'm playing your good old resurrected robot, no longer robot, ex-super sport racer Yuri.
What a
He's
guy.
mostly just trying to be a guy.
He's
essentially
getting better at trying to be a guy as he obtains more organs.
Now got
What organs will he obtain in this session?
Eyes, maybe. A heart.
Yeah, you don't really. You have eye-like things. I guess your new morph has eyes, but your supersuit has.
And just amalgamation of all the characters from Wizard of Oz.
You're some kind of super being, the ultimate organism.
I want to go home.
He's Cell from Dragon Ball Z now.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna eat an android.
Well, he's less Hitler, so he's better off than he was.
That's true. You've got to try and be less Hitler. So, in the last heat, you guys went into a hurricane. There was some Hunt for Red October type Gungan racing. There was... What other craziness happened? You fought an Eclipse Phase monster
Yes.
and did quite well.
Alex, Greg betrayed a fellow cloud.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It still weighs heavy on him.
I can imagine. He's been doing whatever the cloud equivalent of drinking is.
I've been hyper-ionizing myself.
Oh, it's rough. And you guys have been told that you're, going to be sent in... Oh, that's the other thing that happened. Greg got the ability to create hard light hologram things.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He can manipulate physical objects now.
I did do that.
Mm-hmm. You have this spherical hard light projector inside your cloud hovering in there.
I wrote that. Oh, there it is. Hollow emitter. There we go. Allows Greg to look like people and touch stuff.
Yeah.
That was my really super
I mean, it can only allow you to look like the people that it's pre-programmed to look like. So you can look like...
staff, right?
Yeah, you can look like an orderly or a nurse.
Could I take time, because we have like a month in between races, right?
Yeah.
Could I take time to program in a new person that it could look like?
Yeah, you just have to stay ahead of time. So, like, for this adventure, everyone that you want to be able to look like, you have to stay in this run.
I'm
Before
not
yeah.
going to program it a bunch. I just want to make like Greg is going to design his human body basically, and that.
All right. So what does your human furry look like? Your human fursona. Your ape persona.
His Husona.
Yeah, your Husona.
So Greg's Husona is probably.
I have so many pecs.
Yeah. I'm debating whether or not it actually looks human. I guess it would look human. He would know what a human looks like. I think he basically did research of like good-looking people and just kind of melded their faces together into what, like when you do those overlays of a whole bunch of people.
Oh yeah, that sounds.
So it's probably very androgynous, with a very shapely face, but a rather toned but androgynous body, with an indistinguishable gender and multicolored hair.
Of course, like multi-natural colors or just like all colors.
It's oh no. The hair is cloud.
So you kept your wispy hair.
Yeah. Most times it's cloud, but if he has to, like, if he has to totally not be a cloud for some reason, it's just like short, dirty blonde hair.
The other thing that happened is that you guys had a brief run-in with an extra-dimensional tentacle monster.
Yeah.
Sure we did.
As Yuri discovered some extra features of his supersuit, such as it can see in all electromagnetic spectra, and a few spectra that are not electromagnetic.
David Bowie. Greg looks like David Bowie.
Greg looks like David Bowie, but with gas hair?
But with electric gas hair.
Oh, okay.
Which David Bowie would do if he was able to.
Hang on a minute. Is this a JoJo spin-off now? Alright, cool. I suppose.
Just not exactly like David Bowie, but that sort of David Bowie, Tilda Swinton, androgynous kind of look.
Maybe like the Flight of the Conchords pretending to be David Bowie. Jermaine dressed as...
A little bit.
I'm David Bowie from the hit movie The Labyrinth. Alright, cool. I don't think... You guys purged all the... No, you didn't. What did you do with all the organic... What did you do with all the bioweapons? Basically.
Didn't we talk about this? I can't remember.
I'm sure we did. I
remember
recall talking about it, your solution for the bioweapons. I can't remember if you just had the base purge it or not.
I think we did.
I know. Definitely purged the alien cloud that was going to destroy the world.
Yes.
No. Didn't we? We determined that we couldn't purge it without like
destroying the base.
Raiderheads knowing.
Yeah.
So they would be angry at us. So instead, we just claimed it as our value, and then we destroyed it.
Yes, you claimed all of the like crazy alien viruses as your loot.
Yeah, and so we got less monetary back.
Right.
Yeah. So you didn't get anything except the projectors because you claimed all the viruses and shit, and then just told the base to slowly
and Greg
destroy
wanted
them.
to keep one to use as a bioweapon. And Yuri said, "This is going to sound weird coming from Hitler. But genocide's kind of messed up."
Yes, because you're going to try and kill the Hunter dogs.
Line of the game.
Yep.
MVP, Finn.
Somebody is talking about how we are having trouble remembering what happened. That's because we last played this game like a month ago.
Yeah.
And
Sorry.
we're doing a pretty good job of remembering.
Some weird shit happened.
Yeah, every episode of this campaign is an escalation in weirdness. And that's not going to change with this episode.
No. You mean the episode where we head into the Hollow Earth? Why would it?
Yeah, so you guys return to the safety of your UFO shipyard on the island of New Georgia, I believe, off the coast of Papua, where the locals have taken an interest in you, and where, you know what, I don't have open my fucking document that tells me the name of all the crazy factions I've created. And where TKS Super Race Team have been lending you their scientists as they attempt to reverse engineer the crazy propulsion system of the Nazi UFO. So, you know, they're helping you understand the engines, and so TKS is there. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the true survivors have decided that this is where they spend their off time as well, because you've become buddies with the other two teams, and the Valkyries are shitcuts.
Hey, there's plenty of room inside our hollowed out Nazi UFO.
So, you know, what are some of the things you're doing before you, in the month leading up to your adventure into the Hollow Earth, as I knock shit off my shelf?
Well, Greg is spending time trying to get his new ship spaceworthy, and reinforcing the hull and trying to improve the engines so he can actually make it interstellar travel instead of float from Paris to an island in the South Pacific.
Did your people have a means of interstellar travel before? I think you were the first.
I got here.
Yeah, but like, did they just push you into space a la Starship Troopers bugs and just wait for you to drift, or?
No, it was, they had, I figure, like,
you're a
early
gas, so
Star
your mass is pretty low, so they might be able to accelerate you to relativistic velocity.
Yeah, I figured they would just kind of make like capsule ships and condense the gas down inside. So, like, how much can we squeeze into the soda can, and then launch that into space? You know, put that inside a giant ass rocket and shoot it into space.
Nice.
I think they kind of got relativistic. It still took years to get to Earth.
All right, so you're in the local cluster.
Travel.
Yeah, but you've got, you know, maybe 20%.
Oh yeah, it's not
C or something.
He's not gonna finish it, you know, this week.
All right. Well, so it is extremely unlikely that you could get this ship to accelerate to such a speed. So either you're going to have to travel home much, much, much slower, or you're going to need to come up with a new means of propulsion.
Well, Greg could try to, I think he's going to spend time trying to invent a new means of propulsion.
All right.
Maybe working with TKS to try to come up with something.
Yeah, I mean, that's a goal. So,
yeah.
You know.
Well, my goal is get the ship done. So
yeah, but my point is invent a faster than light travel is also a goal.
A goal in and of itself, yeah.
Yeah, like that's how complicated that is.
I think
I already
Greg
have Drive open.
Greg would try to, or propose a deal to TKS that if they help design and build it and install it into the ship, he will give them all the rights to it so they can have it and sell it on Earth and do whatever they want with it.
It's like bloody Ferrari being the first ones to colonize space.
Yeah,
because that's what they are. They're a fucking race team. I love it. I'm about it. Although I suppose they're an extreme sports team, so it's kind of like
Red Bull colony on Mars.
No. KTM. It'd be like KTM colonizing Mars. It'd be like, yeah, it's got massive dunes, so we set up a bunch of dirt tracks.
Mars colony brought to you by Monster Energy Drink.
All right. Raiderheads brings you the all new and improved Maserade. The only planet with extreme energy.
Now with Martian dust in every drink.
Brilliant. Okay, so, what are other people doing in the month leading up to? God damn, it's so hot in my room. I have all the windows open. I will endure. But yes, what are some other people doing?
I would say that Amriel has probably spent some time with Alex.
Cool. Yuri, did that reporter try and contact you again after you said some weird cryptic stuff to her and sent her a private message with weird cryptic information about who you may or may not be?
Well, I sent her a note that said something about talking later. Yeah, like I'd like to talk again after this. Signed with my former life name.
Yeah, your living name. So, did
I mean,
you?
she's a reporter. I assume she does.
Yeah, so she would have tried to contact you then. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, so who wants to go first? Do we want to do lovey-dovey, cool demons and hot soldiers from parallel universe stuff, or do we want to do awkward interview with a dead man stuff?
I kind of want to hear Finn, so let him go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, Finn, do you meet up with her before leaving Hawaii, or do you perhaps suggest that she come out to New Georgia and meet you guys there?
I think Hawaii, because she may not be. Yeah, I say Hawaii.
Yeah, she might not be free to come out to your fucking
Exactly.
new soon to like it's only a short amount of time before you guys basically build Fordlandia.
Although we did do a favor for New Georgia Air, so we could probably get tickets.
It wasn't New Georgia Air, it was just that it was for their tourism board because they had a
Yeah.
partnership with, what is the name of this airline? It's in my list. You have a partnership with
Guten Airbend.
Yes, Guten
Yes.
Abend.
Yeah, but Hawaii.
There are no walls anymore. What a weird fucking slogan. All right, so
So I imagine we.
Hawaii.
I imagine we meet at some cafe in a street by the ocean.
Yeah, so there's a lot of debris from the massive hurricane, and you see some buff dudes and women with like glowing neon hair in different colors, like lifting up huge bits of debris. They appear to be some kind of Point Break surfer hero group.
Okay.
They all look like native Hawaiians.
Yep.
And they're just helping like clean up the debris and stuff. And there's this woman. Did you write down her name, perchance?
I did not.
Oh well, that's all right. Reporter lady. Unfortunately. Actually, I don't even know if I gave her a name.
I don't know if she had a name.
She may not have had a name. I
We
trust
just
you.
mentioned that I knew her.
Indeed. She was a reporter from your past. She had been a field reporter when you were a rally driver before you died.
Yep.
All right, cool. So you see her at the cafe. I assume you're not wearing your super suit.
No. No, I'm dressed. What's quite hot. Actually, yeah, I'm wearing some kind of loud Hawaiian shirt, shorts and thongs.
You are a picture of a Japanese tourist.
Yep.
Which is
Except that I
fitting.
have a picture of a Japanese tourist, but with a mildly samurai demon face.
Indeed, your bloody Oni mask face.
with sunnies on.
Yeah. Yes. Brilliant. This will hide my demonic visage. Sunglasses and a Hawaiian shirt. Nice.
Yeah, so I walk up and take a plastic chair across from her at this tiny milk crate table.
She's drinking an iced coffee.
I order, but I wave a bartender down and order some very cold alcoholic beverage.
A cold beer, perhaps?
No, definitely more of like a maybe like a gin and tonic on ice.
All right, cool. You get a gin and tonic with ice.
No. I get a Bombay iced tea.
A Bombay iced tea. I have never even heard of that.
I hear that
They look
relatively potent.
They look potent.
Yeah, I get a Bombay iced tea.
All right, cool.
That's what I was trying to think of. And sit down across from her, trying to look. I sit down in a swaggery, confident way, but then immediately kind of like shift and readjust uncomfortably in the plastic chair.
As this woman looks at you, says, "So, how should I address you? Which name do you want to go by?"
Yuri's fine.
Okay, Yuri. It's just because. What was your other name?
Akemi Katsu.
It's just because when you sent me the message saying that you wanted to, the note that you wanted to meet with me, you signed it as Ketso. So.
Yes, yeah, but
But you're going by Yuri.
Yes, I mean you the point of that was for you to understand. Yeah.
Indeed, to know who you were, I suppose.
Yeah.
So, how you won Heat 4, and you can see that she has her phone sitting on the table. It's probably recording you.
Yeah, we did.
Did you find Heat 4?
Hang on, can we give her a name now that I realize?
Yes.
My head says Georgia, but that's because we just keep saying New Georgia. So
she's Japanese. I remember her being Japanese.
Is she? Okay.
Yeah, she's Japanese, just like you. I think she actually might be Japanese American. So, I don't know. Anyone got any cool ideas for this reporter? Yodel, if the reporter did in fact have a name, then by all means in the chat, let me know, because I definitely can't remember it, and I can't go and look back through the video now.
If she doesn't, then her name can be Sora.
Sora?
Sure.
All right, cool. Reporter's name is Sora. That needs to go into my campaign notes document. Oh, that's right. Pacific Punch. Sora the Reporter. Not to be confused with Dora the Explorer.
Yes.
I think I spelt reporter like raptor for some reason. Apparently I don't know how to spell the word reporter. Doesn't matter.
Sora the Raptor. Anyway.
Yep. Sora the Raptor. Dr. Dinosaur strikes again.
Yeah, and Yuri says, Sora, look, I wasn't looking necessarily to have an on-the-record conversation about how we went in the last run.
I see. And
I
she grabs her
assume
phone and turns it off. What exactly did you want to talk about?
How have you been?
How have I been?
Yeah.
In what context? How have I been since we last talked, or
How have you been since since I died?
since you died? Was that like 10 or 20 years ago?
20.
20. Okay. Let's see. I
Actually, probably more like
moved.
30, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I moved up from. I was just starting out when you died. It was important to follow the Japanese extreme sports scene. I moved on to other avenues, got a more general sports reporting gig. Moved to a network, Japanese network. Then I moved to an American network. That network then collapsed. I moved to a minor position reporting on the events of, some superhero tabloid journalism, basically. Who is uh, who is Commander Icicle sleeping with? Why has Radiator Gal not refuted the allegations of her drug abuse? Things like that. Boring shit media. And then, everything sort of fell apart after Ragnarok. Almost said the other thing. Everything fell apart after Ragnarok, so I was lucky enough to get in early on the Raiderheads scene and in the adventure racing, the adventure-based racing. I picked that up. I've been following it ever since, and it's been really good. It's actually been surprisingly fulfilling, reporting on the new cutting edge of athleticism, you know?
Yeah.
And you, how was dying, I suppose?
Hmm. As you'd expect, I guess. I,
As I'd expect. Okay. How about how did
Mhm.
you survive? How did you get your robot body, and how did you, and therefore arrive at this
At this
cloned
junction.
mess? Yeah.
Well, well, I didn't survive.
Did
I did
did you
die.
die, or was your consciousness displaced? Had you
No, I died.
radioactive car fuel?
I only, yeah, I died, and I only, a long story, I guess, of I was resurrected into a robot slave army. Um, Actually, I mean, you probably reported on some of that. Now that I think about it,
A robot slave army. The Technomancer?
Cyberneto.
Cyberneto, that's right. Yeah,
Um,
Cyberneto.
yeah, I was part of that robot army just before Ragnarok, and that came.
Yeah.
Sort of found myself free of those. Uh,
I mean,
that
Cyberneto
conscription.
managed to avoid life in prison by up and disappearing with all the other superpowered people.
Mm, yeah. Um, and what else was I going to do with what I had? I didn't really have that much in life skills after my former career.
How
But
much of your former life can you remember?
that's what I was going to. Not not much. Well, more and more I find, but I remember I remember more and more of other things too. I sort of hard going through and coming out the other side that I sort of find myself with a
Finn,
lot of memories that aren't mine.
what
Mm.
was Yuri's sexual orientation before he died?
I'm pretty sure he was gay.
He was gay?
Mhm.
All right.
Um,
What was your last name again?
Akemi.
Akemi? What was
Akemi.
Akemi? What was Akemi's was Akemi primarily monogamous or was he movie gay?
No, I don't think he was movie gay. I mean, like being a motorsport dude, probably traveled a lot.
In the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, but I mean, I think he probably traveled a lot and like in that sense, it wasn't that he traveled a lot and had a lot of relationships. I think he probably
Just was
didn't
never
have
in
much
a
success with relationships for that reason.
All right, or at least that's what Yuri remembers.
He certainly doesn't remember / is fairly certain he didn't have. Well, yeah, he certainly doesn't remember having a relationship at the time he died.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not that's
Jesus.
true, now that I think about it.
Do you remember Kanda? Sorry, Kato?
Yeah, I think I recognized him a while ago. I saw him, and I knew I knew him, but that was about as far as we were on the team together. We knew each other, but yeah.
Did I actually name that random you saw in Mongolia, Kato?
I feel like I think so, and if not, then I feel like it's fine.
You think that's what Yuri thinks she's talking about? Like, no, Kato, you're on again, off again, friend, you know? One of those things that we were sensitive about reporting on. A lot of sponsors were not ready to Do you not know what I'm talking about? She seems confused. And
yeah, Yuri sort of sits there like racking his brain, takes his sunglasses off, has a awkward sip of his Bombay iced tea. No, like so far, whenever someone's mentioned or I've seen someone, that it usually comes back somewhat, but
Kato was rumored to be. You two were rumored to be really close friends. Do you follow what I'm saying here?
I do. I get what you mean. I just no, I don't remember Kato.
So you haven't tried to contact Kato then?
I haven't tried to contact anyone.
Wow.
Which is part of why I reached out to you. I don't remember most of them, any of them, and I thought I could kind of use some help.
Well,
from someone who does.
I mean, you and I weren't that close. I was just a reporter. I wasn't even a particularly renowned one at the time, just a pretty girl to put on video, asking inane questions.
But I mean, you see the problem I have is that I don't remember anyone until I see them, which means I haven't seen a lot of people I knew then, and
right.
I remembered you, and like I could just go on and try and hope that I find someone else that I do know closely. I just bump into them and then I recognize them, or you, who as a reporter, like, I mean, you followed our
I mean, I might be able
stuff.
to put together a list and some contact information for some people from your past, but
yeah, that's essentially what I'm
right. Okay.
talking about.
Have you been home? I guess you haven't been home. You just said you haven't talked to anyone.
No.
I mean, if you've got the time it might be worth visiting home at some point.
Yeah, if you could include that address on the list too.
Yeah. Did you have siblings before you died?
Assumedly.
All right. So before you guys catch your plane back to New Georgia, she contacts you with a list of names, and she also sends you a message saying, "I'm really sorry to have to tell you this, but your parents passed away. Your sister lives in Tokyo."
Okay. Thanks. Yeah.
I hope this helps, and if you need me like to talk or anything, like here's my email.
Yeah.
We can Skype. Not Hangouts. That's for professionals.
Thank you, Sora. Like, yeah, this means a lot. And obviously, yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, it's all good. Thanks.
Cool. I guess I will see you at the starting line for Heat 5. Maybe we can do a team profile or something.
Sure. Yeah, I'll mention it to the others.
Wonderful. Cool. So, I guess let's see. You know what? Let's break this up a little bit because I feel like Amriel's
Two emotional
scene,
discussions at once.
yeah, Amriel's scene might have a similar heavy tone. So let's go to Greg. Because Greg's always good for just whackety schmackety do.
And then I
Glad I
can
could be of service.
I can talk to my emotionally traumatized girlfriend about her PTSD being thrown off of a UFO.
And having her entire country destroyed in righteous fury for the subjugation and genocide of Native American peoples and yada yada yada, all that business.
Yeah.
Broken record with that one. Jeez.
I know, American imperialism. What a gee. I mean, you know, at least they made the trains run on time. So, Greg.
Yes.
What are you've been trying to come up with some FTL?
Yeah, so Greg is in the New Georgia, soon to be like the world's premier spaceport eventually. Not soon to be.
It's not the worst place to build a spaceport because it's near the equator, so like you need less delta V to get into space.
Yeah. And it's good land that no one's gonna miss if antimatter rocket system explodes.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the most tectonically stable, so you know, nothing's perfect.
Can't have everything.
But you're right, land costs are low. Labor costs also low. Food costs low.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, Greg is working. I think Greg is working with TKS to try to, if not faster than light, at least a good relativistic engine that can get him home within
pretty sure that the Nazi UFO, if I remember correctly, you know what, I was going to say it held itself up just with thrusters, but it did have those weird glowing lightning thingies that crackled on its underside. So that might have been some kind of anti-grav.
I think that was given to the sponsors. I think the deal was...
No. They took all of the radioactive materials.
Oh, I thought they got
But
that
they
too.
didn't take any of the base mechanism. I mean, if those things used radioactive isotopes, then yes, they would have taken them.
Right.
But that doesn't mean. But you would have all of the components surrounding it. So
Gotcha. Okay. So I would just need to make more plutonium to power it, and then.
yeah, if that is in fact what was going on.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So it did have some kind of anti-grav. I can think of a way to make a faster than standard spaceship using that, but not necessarily faster than light. How about you? What ideas do you have, Greg?
Well, Greg has lots of ideas. Alex
So many ideas.
is not a incredibly genius cloud with all the degrees, but
Unlike Raymond Cox, known
exactly
cloud monster.
So I think Greg is trying to figure out something with some way to manipulate the anti-grav drive to create like a warp bubble or a wormhole generator, which is totally safe, by the way.
Does anyone else have any suggestions as perhaps parts of Greg's subconscious?
For making this faster than light.
Well, not necessarily faster than light, just faster than normal.
No.
All right. So the thing that I have, and it does involve warping in a way. If you've got anti-gravity, it's probably not anti-gravity. It probably just makes the mass of thing less.
Right. You're thinking inertia cancelling.
Yeah. So you make the mass of your spaceship negligible, and then you can accelerate to stupid speeds, which I believe actually happens in the first episode of Deep Space Nine. They use their inertial thingies to make the station like 10 kilos.
I don't remember.
Because they're warp engines. Apparently, space stations have warp engines. Apparently, that was shut off, so they had to we're gonna get fucking a bajillion miles in 10 minutes. I don't know. Maybe we'll just break the laws of physics.
Well, it was a Cardassian station. Of course, it had warp engines.
Of course, I would know this. Star Trek fan than I am. So you could try and do that. It's probably going to require a lot of modification.
Yeah. Well, Greg is out of character, sitting on a ton of skill points and fate points right now that he hasn't spent. So that can all go towards that. Brilliant.
Just build a new super base using your fate points.
Basically, it doesn't. Cool. Basically, all the ship has to do is travel faster than light, or close, and be able to obliterate an entire species with a minimal crew.
That's all it needs to do.
Yeah. Greg has to make a warship to rescue his people from the evil Death Zeppelins.
Suggestion from the live chat is take an anti-grav sphere, put it inside a bigger anti-grav sphere, chug a really strong cup of coffee, and then add 1.21 gigawatts.
I mean, other than the coffee, that sounds like a pretty good plan for Greg.
I mean Greg.
Coffee.
Yeah, Greg would have trouble with the coffee, but
maybe you could just disassemble it.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to chug it, but
maybe he could make some kind of coffee-based fusion generator.
Yeah,
that'd be
caffeine.
Caffeine makes thought faster. We make a thought-powered engine.
We can travel at the speed of thought.
Oh man!
Greg watches Back to the Future and wonders where he can get himself a Mr. Fusion. That would be perfect.
I mean, probably in that super base you just sold. So I would imagine they have shit. Oh no, it was running on geothermal, so why would it have fusion?
But yeah, that's so Greg is negotiating with TKS to help get parts, because it would be easier for them to import machined parts than for Greg to use all his energy to assemble everything. And yelling at workers in New Guinea, trying to tell them where to put things and how to assemble things. But now Greg can actually touch things because he has a hard light generator.
Yes, you can join the workers in their struggle.
I mean, they get food and shelter. Greg is not. I mean, rule. They get paid. They get lunch breaks. Everything is up to OSHA standards, other than the highly volatile radioactive materials. But they don't handle those. So
Also, not that this particularly matters because I knew what you meant, but New Guinea and Papua New Guinea, completely different parts of the Earth.
oh wait, so
New
where are
Guinea's
we?
You're in Papua New Guinea. Well, you're
Papua.
near Papua New Guinea, but New Guinea is a country in Africa.
Right. World and its names.
I know, right? New Guinea is half. Papua New Guinea is half of the island of Papua.
Ugh, okay.
I know, it's confusing.
And we're on New Georgia Island.
Yes, which is off the coast of Papua New Guinea. I think it might be near New London as well. And Bougainville.
That really doesn't help. I'm just going to go Google New Georgia Island.
Indeed.
Oh, it is in the Solomon Islands.
Oh, it's in the Solomon
Just looking there.
Islands.
There it is. Right, it's got that volcano right next to it. That's the perfect
It does.
place to build a
Yeah.
possibly explosive spaceport.
I mean, if Warhammer 40k is anything to believe, then there'll be heaps of like iron and jewels just coming out of the ground near volcanoes.
That's what happens.
And I do need those jewels because diamonds power the slip matter stream.
Ah, you're going to go for a slip matter drive.
I don't know. I just made those words up.
The problem with a slip matter drive is that things often fall out.
Ah, well then, can't have that.
Yeah, because
You don't want your slip drive to get too slippery.
exactly.
Maybe Greg will
slip
just
and
make
slide
an
drive.
infinite
You just
an
spray a
infinite
bunch of-
improbability drive.
You just lay down a very low inertia line between you and where you want to be.
Yeah,
Right.
and then you just slide along it.
See, this is the way the spaceship works. It shoots oil out the front, and then just slides on that as it goes.
And it just
creates
keeps doing
a
it,
zero-
hoping to go as far as possible.
It creates a zero friction zone of fun.
Slip and slide at subluminal velocities.
Yeah, my slip and slide drive. Oh man. My
So,
twister furnace and my Monopoly interface.
So Greg is walking around in his hologram form most of the time when he's interacting with the workers and TKS because he's noticed that people tend to take him more seriously when he has a face.
But only slightly when it's David Bowie's face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not like Ziggy Stardust. He doesn't have like makeup and a lightning bolt.
Right.
Hey
I still
Greg, do you want to
have
help
time
us on
picturing
this engine design? It's not very good, is it? Okay, cool.
And in between, and while he's not helping them design an FTL drive, Greg is sketching weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, have you got any crazy ideas for weapons of mass destruction? Just like off the top of your head?
I
do
feel like
I
I
know?
missed the bit. I feel like I missed the bit where Greg decided to like destroy everything.
Well, it's not that he has to destroy everything, but he has to destroy the terrifying war zeppelins because his race is being used to fill their nigh impenetrable gas bags.
Do the war zeppelins float through space?
Yes.
Okay.
Reasons.
That doesn't help me. That doesn't help me at all, but okay.
I just thought it sounded cool.
So, indeed, go for it. What else do we know about the race that uses the war zeppelins?
They are the Zikloth.
Are they a cloth-based race?
I don't think so. I'll leave that up to you.
Well, let's go with not.
I kind of pictured.
They are the bags to your clouds.
Yeah.
Oh, they're like a race of sentient bagpipes.
Oh,
They're
God.
whoopee cushions.
I kind of pictured the mean green aliens from Galaxy Quest.
Oh, yeah, so like a standard evil reptile.
Yeah, just your standard alien bad guys.
Sarans from Farscape? I think they're called the Sarans.
Don't remember. But
They
they
changed their design like 5 times, and then like they explain it away. We're like, there's different caste systems. It's like, you said that other guy was a prince. No, he's a fucking shitty low-level lizard.
He's a prince of losers.
Yeah, the good ones look hot and sexy.
All I had written was that Greg's race was enslaved by the Z-Cloth to fill their terrifying war zeppelins.
All right, so I'm thinking, yeah. So all right, lizards work, lizard men work. That'll be interesting.
So he needs to have weapons powerful enough to destroy the war zeppelins that are feared throughout his section of the galaxy.
Yes. The fucking wacky section of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Makes sense that it would be near Earth. Earth is pretty wacky adjacent.
It's a weird place.
So yeah, there's fucking tacos and penguins. Like, what's up with that?
And ostriches.
Is Greg still planning on? Are you just destroying the war zeppelins, or are you going to destroy all of the Z-Club?
Greg is going to do whichever is most efficient.
Yeah, cool. These reptiles must be really smart too.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Well, it's undetermined if they invented the war zeppelins or stole them.
Ah, yes. There's an alien race in Night's Dawn trilogy that has no imagination and is incapable of telling lies and innovating. And everyone's always like, how the fuck did they invent spaceships? And when they invented spaceships, why the fuck did they never improve the engines on them? And it's because they didn't. There was another intelligent race on their planet that they subjugated and got to invent shit, and then they just abandoned that race. Like, all right, our solar system's going to be consumed by its star. We're going to go. Bye. It's like but because they had no means of innovation or like creativity, they couldn't envision ever needing that race again. So they just abandoned them.
Wow.
So dumb. So fucking dumb.
Yeah.
They're like a race of weird alien cows. They're so docile. Anyway.
I read a book that had a similar race that just stole their spaceships.
Steal other races' shit. Anyway, so... Okay, I have something for Greg.
Oh, okay.
What were your trouble aspects again?
My trouble aspects
Some shit can't be reassembled was one.
Yeah, and one of mine was curiosity killed the cloud.
All right, cool. All right. So, after a while, it's been a few weeks of working on this, and this is, non-linear time funness. You've been working with a specific design team that does a lot of work on quantum manifolds and reverse engineering the really weird high-tech shit that TKS pulls out of bases.
Okay.
One night they're getting close to finishing up, and they're all chatting, and then one of them walks over to Greg, a woman who is. And Greg's got his hologram on as you're trying to work out how these two weird things match up.
Okay.
You're trying to there's a pattern on this device, and you're trying to make it work, but you can't quite work out how it's meant to go together and what its purpose is. Something one of them left around. You're pretty sure that it's an important tool. And this woman walks up. She says, there's actually like formulas you can use to solve those.
What do you mean solve them?
Well, it's a puzzle toy, It's
what? I thought it was a component for superluminal travel. It would. Oh.
Oh no, that's just a Rubik's cube.
Ah, well, I feel silly now.
I didn't mean to.
No, it's quite all right.
We're gonna go into town and get some drinks. I was wondering if you wanted to, but you don't drink, do you? So why would you want to come?
Out of character question: do the holograms look like full people, or is it like a purple glowing
No. They
person
look like
shaped thing?
full people because they look like people
Okay.
when you were there. It's just your
Right,
gas
right, okay.
form might mess with it a little, but for the most part.
So it flickers a little staticky every once in a while.
Also, it is a
Um,
world where fucking superheroes have where superpowered sports stars have the largest web show. So like
Anything is possible.
no one's gonna
not that-
lose their mind if you go into town.
No,
and
I
be
don't
like,
know what's going to lose their mind. I just didn't know how. Like,
Yeah,
is it obvious that it's fake, or does it look like a real person?
I mean, with your hair, it is suspicious. But
well, I can crop that.
yeah, you just look like a person with impossible hair.
Greg says,
And not
actually,
impossible hair in
Not
the Michelle,
uncommon.
not
Yeah.
impossible hair in the Michelle Pfeiffer from Stardust kind of way.
exactly. Actually,
Literally.
I would very much like to join you
Oh, okay,
and
cool.
partake in the imbibing.
Well, we're just gonna go get changed out of our work clothes. So I guess meet us at the front gate in like half an hour, and I'll see you there. And she blushes as she walks away.
Very good, Greg. His holographic arm like reaches inside of himself.
Oh
And
god.
there's like a beep boop, and the outfit on his thing changes to like a suit. For your kid. He has a few pre-programmed outfits.
Ryan with his lewd chat comments. Maybe she just wants to get to know him, Ryan, you pervert.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
God. I won't even repeat such lewd things with my mouth meat. Okay, so I think we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Amriel,
Yes.
what are we doing with? Give me a minute. Xandra, rather. Alexander would be a different. Not that there's anything wrong with hetero love,
Alexander
I mean,
would be me.
whatever floats your boat,
Takes all kinds.
Who am I to judge the heteros for their lifestyle choices?
I would say she sat out the last heat with her team. They were
decided
helping to evacuate people, right?
Indeed, they decided to help protect. Oh, that's annoying. They decided to help protect Hawaii rather than compete. They needed
right.
the emotional win more than they needed the monetary gain.
I guess what I do with her depends largely then on what the state of Hawaii is after the hurricane. Like if the islands got trashed, then probably Amriel is going to do what she can to pitch in for the relief effort.
I would say that only nothing too major. Probably a lot of like yachts and stuff were destroyed, to which I imagine a lot of the. I don't want to say natives because that's not what I mean. I know that there's a thing in Hawaii where there's kind of these two. There's the people that live in Hawaii the whole year round, and then there's like all the fucking rich people that only come when it's good, and they normally leave during the hurricanes. And I know that Hawaiians have a specific word for that kind of Hawaiian, the people that fuck off.
Snowbirds. That's what we call them.
Yeah, it's there's a word for it. I just can't remember what it is. But basically, I imagine that the people that live there all year round are like, well, fuck you and your yachts. We don't give a shit.
They didn't have time to fuck off before the hurricane.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not like what's that hurricane that hit New Orleans was horrible?
Katrina.
Yeah, it's not like Hurricane Katrina, even though it's a more powerful storm than that. The Hawaii managed to avoid taking any serious hits because the hurricane was worse out where you guys were.
Okay.
So it was bad, but it's like they'll be fine in like a month or two. Like everything will be pretty much back to normal. Not a lot of roads were destroyed or anything. Nothing,
Well,
nothing that a little lava flow hasn't done worse, I suppose.
in that case, I guess maybe I will ask her what she feels like doing.
Is
Because
this while you guys are still in Hawaii?
sure,
Yeah.
I'll Skype in from. Did we return to the aircraft carrier, or are we still?
Yeah, you
Um,
probably return to the aircraft carrier, considering that the base is acting on the orders of Dr. Nebulon.
right.
Professor
Um,
Nebulon?
Professor Nebulon, I think. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
indeed.
All right. So if I remember correctly, I had to talk to her on one of those sat phones. So I'll try to get in touch with her again that way.
Mm-hmm. It takes a few minutes to get through, but eventually you do. And she's like, "Oh, hey, how'd it go? Did you? I mean, I haven't really been watching the stream. Did you?
Well, we didn't die.
Oh, good.
Um, we also didn't unleash an unremitting horror to fill the universe with its nebulous cloudiness. I don't know.
That seems really specific. That
Yeah,
didn't happen.
yeah. It hit Greg kind of hard. Like, I mean, you see people who have compromised their own morals in hell all the time, obviously because it's hell,
Yeah.
and I've never seen a cloud get that look about it before. It's so odd.
Yeah. How does a crowd? How does a cloud express depression? I suppose.
Well, if you want to see, go look up Greg because he's right there. So
I'd
anyway,
rather look you up.
well, that's kind of why I was calling. I was hoping to skip town for a little while because Yuri is off doing resurrected Hitler things, and Greg is sulking somewhere. And I thought maybe you and I could do something fun.
What did you have in mind?
Well, we've been to quite a few um, exotic locations. I figured we could do something low key. I know you don't exactly have a normal life in this universe, but if you did have a normal life, where would you want to go?
So, something that I really enjoyed when I would get leave during the South Asian War was I like to go snorkeling and freediving. Have you ever done that?
I have not.
Really? Not a lot of snorkeling spots in hell?
Most of the water is boiling and
Or
unpleasant.
pus or blood?
Yeah, it's not a lot of water. It's there's a river of molten gold, but that's really
Of
just for
course.
dipping usurers in.
Of course. Well, I mean, just we could go out to which of these islands? We could go out to. You know what? I should probably just search which of the Hawaiian islands has best snorkeling, but let's go with Oahu at a guess.
Hey, I'm all about it, and you know what? I really need to not be in mind-numbing danger for a little while. So
Google says that Oahu is one of the most popular tourist destinations in Hawaii, so go with that.
Indeed. It's
I was
got a
gonna-
Disney resort on it. I know that.
I was going to say we could go to Australia and dive the Great Barrier Reef, but it's probably like a sentient megalomaniac in this universe or something.
I mean,
like that.
let's not forget my character Barry, the Great Barrier Reef, who was a sentient coral man. Well, he was a normal man, bonded to a coral alien armor thing. So, I mean, whatever. Semantics. Kind of a bit like Yuri, I suppose.
Except with coral instead of
Coral.
demon.
Coral instead of reverse engineered demon.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I will. You want me to pick you up? I mean, I don't know how you feel about the whole flying thing, but I can get us there in no time.
Why don't we just take a boat rather than fly?
Yeah. You know what? You're right. We're going for the whole normalcy thing. Let's just pretend that you're not from a parallel universe and I'm not a demon from hell, and we're just an ordinary couple on a regular vacation going snorkeling.
Yeah. And as she's about to hang up, she goes, "Are we a couple?"
Well, I hope so, because I'm looking at orbits right now, and there's a very limited number of hotel rooms available on such short notice.
Okay. I mean, I wonder how many adulterers you've seen go through your business place. And then she hangs up the phone. Maybe sodomites would have been a better joke, but, whatever. We live in the moment here. Cool. So, I guess you guys have a nice, pleasant time. Yuri, what are you going to do with this list of names?
Read it.
Okay. There's lists of people that used to be on your team. She's put down a list of people you had beef with. Listed a few sponsors. Interestingly, Dimension Gate Games apparently was one of your sponsors back in the day.
Weird.
Yeah, apparently. They were making a rally game, and you were one of the player characters.
But at this point, I think I probably mostly just sort of Google search all of it, look up people.
Yeah,
stalk
you
their
find
Facebooks.
you find a YouTube channel that does it's one that's top greatest deaths in motorsport, and you're ranked number 9, with 1 being the best one. Or top 6 motorsport legends that died in their prime. There's a lot of shit like that.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, and I like Facebook stalk essentially everyone on this list.
yeah. All right.
Just checking out their profile and what they do. And
yeah, your sister is married. She apparently has some kind of accounting job at some law firm in Tokyo. Very boring, unassuming profession.
She was always the less interesting.
Burn. Cato apparently moved to Britain. No, you know what? Fuck it. Cato moved to Ireland and was advocate for same-sex marriage.
Yep.
So, I mean, good for Cato, I
Good for
suppose.
Cato.
One of your rivals died of cancer, which is kind of depressing. Some of the members of your team have been wallowing in obscurity
Mm-hmm.
for the last few years. Apparently, your death really, really broke up your team. They, couldn't really recover from it. Only one did, and that was the one you saw in
Yep.
Mongolia, who was brokering motorsports deals and shit like that.
Yep. Okay.
Did you want to visit your parents' grave?
No.
Did you want to visit your grave?
Less.
Did you want to go drink?
Yeah.
All right.
I make heavy use of my ability to be intoxicated now.
All right. So I'm gonna say, has Yuri just been getting drunk for the last few weeks between races?
Just like Facebook stalking people and getting drunk. Just getting
Facebook
drunk
stalking
while like
and
sitting there on the laptop
day
by myself.
Yeah, you're like sitting on the beach with the Raiderheads branded laptop with like a 6-pack of like mixes next to you.
Yep.
And you're just like, oh man, fuck that guy. Everyone's just watching as Yuri's seemingly doing nothing. He hasn't been prepping the car. He's just been fucking Facebook stalking and day drinking. And it's becoming, you're like a week out now. So we will address that after we go talk to Greg about this totally normal worker outing he's going on.
Yeah. So Greg switches to his suit and meets them by the front entrance.
What does your clothing look like for this going out evening?
I figured just like a black suit with a black tie.
So you're wearing a suit though, like jacket, shirt, tie, pants.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
it's he did a quick search for, going out, and people dress up when they go out.
Did you mean formal wear? Brilliant. All right. So you're standing there in a holographic black suit.
Yep.
And up walks like these people. They're in like jeans and shirts, and the girl is wearing like a kind of a sundress thing. And you're there in a suit. And they're like, hey. And then for a bit they're like, one of them's like, hey man, isn't that hot? And then somebody elbows him in the ribs. It's like, right, sorry, forgot, Cloud.
Oh, wait, one moment. Greg reaches into his chest again, and his form sort of flickers as he does so. And there's
so disconcerting.
Yes, it is.
Into your chest.
And there's like a boop, and he switches to casual outfit 2, which is jeans and a button down.
I was really hoping it would be like short shorts.
No, that's number 3.
Of course it's number 3. Why wouldn't it be number 3? And so you head off into town. It's like a 20-minute walk to town, and there's a bunch of huts. And when I say huts, I mean like corrugated iron sheds. And then there's like this big open kind of picture a warehouse with no walls. and all of the posts are made, and all of the like structural stuff is made out of wood. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's people just drinking. Everybody's sweating profusely and acting like it's not incredibly hot.
I
And
picture
this
there's like
is
fairy
and
lights
this is
strung up.
winter. This is the equivalent of winter for this time. Like it's I mean it is in the tropics, so yeah, but it's still fucking hot ass.
It's always summer here.
Pretty much. It's either wet summer or dry summer.
Are we in wet or dry summer right now?
I think wet summer comes at the end of the year, so I would assume you're in dry summer.
Oh, cool. Not that Greg can really get rained on anyway. So, yes, Greg says, I've been to a bar once with my team, but not like this. How does one order a drink, and what would be a good one to order?
Well, they probably just have beer. Oh, I don't think we've ever ordered anything but beer. Generally, you just stand near the bar surface and wait for somebody to service you. They've got a lot of throughput lately with the TKS team, setting up the workshop to look at your UFO.
Well,
So
it's not a UFO. It is identified. It is a Nazi warship. If
yeah,
anything, it is a IFO.
you're still not quite. Yeah, that's an interesting laugh you've chosen.
I'm still working on it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I
did look up some customary social protocols, and I believe the first round is on me.
Do you have money?
Not yet. Greg scoops up a rock from the floor, holds it in his hands, like cups it in both his hands. There's a bright flash of lights, and he takes his hand away, and it's just a lump of gold now.
I mean, that'd do it.
This seems to have been working well for me. It is much easier to make than paper currency.
I mean, yeah, sure. And one of the guys grabs the gold nugget from you, is like, how about I go grab the round and you guys can... And he just walks off as if he's not quite sure how to finish that sentence.
He's stealing my gold, Greg doesn't realize.
And he walks up to the bar, and you can see him standing there for a while. And, the other people you came with are milling about, waiting for drinks, talking to other people from work. And the girl in the sundress is just standing there, near you.
Greg is admiring the architecture.
Mm-hmm. You know what's nice about this building?
Is that her saying it?
No, you. You think this. No walls.
Oh, okay.
That troublesome aspect of human architecture.
It's my least favorite part about Earth, and there's no walls here. This is the best building ever.
Mm-hmm.
It
does have columns, which are like thin slivers of wall, but they don't really get in the way.
Yeah, I mean, you could flow around a column.
Yeah.
A
column's basically just a square tree.
Exactly. Greg turns to the woman and says, I think this is my favorite building on Earth so far.
Really?
Yes. The lack of walls is invigorating.
Okay. Does Greg remember this person's name?
I'm going to roll a die on that one. Odds he does, evens he doesn't. Odds he does.
What's her name, Greg?
It's a woman. Is she's native or is she like flown in?
She's a TKS team member, so she could be Japanese, Brazilian, or something else, but she probably works in Japan.
Yeah, we've got a lot of Japanese characters already, so she's Brazilian.
Come up with a Portuguese name, rather.
I just
Portuguese
googled
name.
Brazilian names. No, Hugo is not going to cut it.
Yes, her name is Hugo.
Okay, I should have googled most popular female names.
Mm-hmm. Female Brazilian artists. Shakira. Actually, I don't think she's Brazilian.
There we go. Oh boy.
She's
Maria.
from a Spanish-speaking country.
The
I
number
think.
one. Isabella.
Shakira is Colombian.
Yeah, no, her name is Isabella.
You know what's funny? Shakira's middle name is Isabel.
We were operating on the same wavelength for that.
Oh, there you go. Cool. So her name is Isabella. Hey, spell scientist Raymond, what it'll do. Yeah, cool. What she's sort of confused by you talking with the Billy Slay. Wait, why is it invigorating that it? Why is it your favorite?
Oh, where I come from, we don't have walls. It's very disconcerting to come from a place where everyone flows around freely to a place with walls. They are very efficient at blocking airflow and cutting people off from one another. It is the most alien part about Earth for me.
She reaches out and touches the arm of your hologram and says, "There's a lot of things that cut us off from one another." And then and then the guy walks over with the drinks, like, "Hey, I got some beer." And she just sort of turns, grabs one, and starts drinking it nervously.
Does this hologram have sensory input, or like, can I feel her touch my arm, or do I just see her touch the arm and recognize that she has touched my arm?
You see it. There'd be
Okay.
no reason for it to have that.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay. Greg,
and there'd be
takes
no
one-
way for it to transfer it to you if it did.
Yeah, that would be a lot more complicated. Yeah, Greg takes one of the beers and just like tilts his head back and just pours the entire thing down his throat, his holographic throat, and converts the alcohol into energy.
Your holographic light sock of a mouth.
Exactly.
Like, why would they design the throat pass like the jaw?
Oh no, yeah, it's just I just tilt my head back.
Yeah.
The hole that I dumped the beer
It's
into.
like a fucking puppet in there.
Yeah. Like if you look down his throat, you could see gas cloud.
You know, Cookie Monster, I don't think you ever actually eat cookies.
Should I recycle the bottle as well?
No, you can just like put it in the bin there, man. And there's like a oil drum full of trash.
Oh. That seems somewhat inefficient.
Craig's gonna set up a recycling plant.
That's what I was just thinking.
This is too inefficient also. I need to invent disassembler swarms.
Exactly. Converts everything to raw carbon! Greg just walks over and drops the bottle into the trash.
So the night continues on, and the girl continues her awkward flirting with the hologram of David Bowie, alien.
You don't have to point out that David Bowie was an alien.
Does Greg notice what this human female is doing? Has he seen enough of the romantic comedies to comprehend this plot point?
I want to say no.
He does not recognize this TV trope.
No, he acknowledges the fact and remembers the fact that she is, standing close and touching him and laughing at everything he says, even though he hasn't told a joke. But does not recognize human courtship, as his species did not have courtship.
Mm-hmm.
If you needed an individual entity, you just spawned a cloud out of the gestalt. That was it.
So later on in the night, Ayumi, the pilot for TKS, comes in, and everybody cheers because it's it's one of their bosses, and that's the way they react to it. Japanese business culture. He's drinking with doing lots of shots, and then he comes over to you. He's like, after a while, he's like, Greg,
Oh, hello, Ayumi.
What are you? And he sort of pulls you away from this group of people you're doing. He's like, why, you're spending a lot of time tonight with the quantum interference team.
Oh, well, I was working with them earlier, and they invited me out with them. I read on the internet that in human cultures it is rude to abandon one's group of friends. So I decided to remain with them. I believe the humans call it bros before hoes.
Okay, man. I mean,
how
about we don't say that out loud? I think Isabel might be hitting on you, which I don't know how that works for you, yes, man.
Well, I mean, she has been touching me, but I wouldn't consider it hitting. It wasn't forceful.
She has been flirting with you?
Oh, I don't understand what you mean.
She has been engaging in a mating dance with you.
Ah, like many avian species on Earth do.
Yes. And he sort of looks you up and down, and I say, that analogy is truer in you than most.
I hadn't recognized any displays of plumage, but perhaps I'm just not attuned to the subtleties of well, I am most definitely not attuned to the subtleties of human nature.
Well, I mean, in avian species, it's the male that signals with plumage, so maybe that's why you were confused?
Perhaps it is.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know if that'll work for you, but she's...
Well,
I mean, she's got interest.
I feel I should probably tell her that I don't have genitals.
Hey, man, it's not all about the genitals, Sometimes, just a kiss is enough.
That's not what the internet says.
Well, yeah. Look, I'm not gonna... Oh, look, my drinks are ready. And he walks away.
Well, thank you, Ayumi.
What is Craig going to do with this information?
Greg walks back over to Isabella and says, "Oh, hello, Isabella. I have been informed that you have been hitting on me."
What? No, yeah, I have.
No, it's quite all right. As I told Ayumi, you were not touching me hard enough for any physical damage, which is why I did not realize that you were hitting me. It was very soft taps at best. But Ayumi pointed out some of the subtleties of human mating rituals, and I feel I should let you know that my holographic form and my natural gas form do not have genitalia. So I feel it would be a disappointment to you.
She goes bright red as you start talking about your non-existent genitalia.
I would not be a suitable mate for you, as I would not be able to provide you with offspring. So if you do not wish to waste any of your most biological fertility, I just thought that I should let you know.
Oh my god. She turns and seems frozen as she turns away from you. Perhaps there is something wrong with the human.
Greg does another cursory search, and then gives her a pat on the shoulder and says, "It's not you, it's me.
Oh wow. Okay.
I am the one lacking genitals. Well, I have not inspected your body, so I can't say that you are not also lacking genitals, but
Oh God.
most human beings have genitals."
Oh man, kill me now. Oh, okay. So she turns back to you. It says, I'm sorry for being specially insensitive. And she walks off deep into the mass of people.
Oh, I did not think it was insensitive. Many humans have never met a gaseous life form before.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask. I'll have to ask my teammates what they think.
So Emriel, after a few wonderful nights of snorkeling and mountain hiking and bathing on the beach in the sun, you know your trip away is coming to a close. You know that you have to start preparing for the next heat of the race soon, which means heading back to New Georgia and getting on prepping your vehicles and doing your research and whatnot. And where do you guys choose to spend your last romantic night together?
Well, we're in Hawaii, and I feel like I've suggested doing like absurdly touristy things with Emriel before. So maybe we're going to a fakey luau of some kind.
Oh wow! Okay, cool. Most of my knowledge of fake luau's comes from Lilo and Stitch, so this should be good.
So there's like a hula dancer performance and
fire twirlers and big pig. Because we're all aching for some bacon. Okay, and she walks over to you after a while, like you've been you were doing something, and she said she was going to go get you drinks. She comes back and she's holding two like half coconuts with umbrellas and pineapple and straws coming out of it. She's like, "Look at these wonderfully authentic drinks," she says, sarcastically.
Whew, we may have hit peak Hawaii here.
So Hawaii. This is a lot different to the Hawaii on my Earth.
Really?
Yeah, it's not as pristine. I mean, it's pristine in different ways, I suppose. It's all just one big corporate research park. Lots of marine testing. Plant engineering.
Sounds a little sterile to me.
Yeah, it's probably all gone now. This is kind of nice in a weird, authentically fake kind of way.
It is kind of like a parallel universe inside a parallel universe.
Yeah. Emriel, are you ever going to go home? I mean, obviously not home, but like hell home?
Not if I can at all help it.
Yeah.
How about you? You ever think about going back?
Oh God, no. Not that I don't think that, you know, what is the name of that place? It's not America. It's an America-type name. Did I write down the name of their version of America? I didn't write it down. That's all right. Oh, that's right. It's the Republic of North America. Not that I don't think the Republic of North America, like, didn't deserve what happened to it, but I don't think it's gonna be a nice place to live there for a while. Maybe like in 100 years it'll balance out, but yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna go back there. But
I can understand that.
well, yeah.
Everyone back home where I'm from is still trying to recover from a war that happened 4,000 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty fucked up. Vic has been talking about making another jump. And it's kind of split the team a bit.
Does it have to be a unanimous decision? Or are you going to leave some people behind?
I mean, I guess we could leave people behind, but it's just, you know, they're all the closest thing I've had to family for so long, and I don't know, you know, I don't want to leave them, especially if they we didn't exactly check before leaping, you know. All we knew was that this place had an Earth in a similar position to our Earth physically, and that the dominant species was humans. And we just took our chances. It just happened to kind of work out. I mean, what if they wind up on a planet ruled by dinosaur people or something, or one even more fearful of alternate humanoids than this one is, you know? Like, you feel me?
Yeah, I mean, you certainly could have picked worse places to land. Not everywhere has pina coladas and with little umbrellas.
Yeah, I mean, or pumpkin pie. Man. The fact that you guys still have pumpkin pie here blows me away.
And if you do decide to make another jump, are you going with them?
I don't know. You know? I can't abandon them, but I have the makings of a life here. And she touches your arm.
Amriel puts her arm around Alex and says, I would love for you to build that life here with me, but don't let me hold you back. If you need to be with your family, I understand. And from my perspective, this was always going to end at some point.
Ooh, 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 that's rough. I think that tells me all I need to know about the rest of this evening. You know, it's kind of a bittersweet evening. You know, you kind of framed it as almost like a going away. Like maybe this is us winding down. And so there's this kind of weird atmosphere in the air of it's nice being with one another and spending this time together. And this is a kind of a cheesy romantic thing to be doing together. But also that underpinning of we are two beings from entirely different places in the universe and our love cannot last, will not last. So maybe we should end it on our own terms. Whether that was your intention or not, that is the mood that follows you through this evening.
Yeah. Well, I kind of figured that, Amriel's immortal, so she...
Oh
she
yeah, I
kinda-
figured that what Emriel meant was like, eventually, Alexandra, you will die, and I will be left here alive for more eons.
Right.
Whereas, like, Alexandra probably read it as, well, I mean, my relationships are volatile, and I normally break up with people, so
Yeah. A little bit of a miscommunication, but yeah. No, I like that. I like that a lot.
And so then you guys, she takes you to the Raider Raid heliport to take you back to the aircraft carrier to board a plane to New Georgia. And she's like, yeah, I mean, we're going to be heading to New Georgia to stage as well, considering that our teams are all kind of working together now. But I guess I'll see you there. And she shakes your hand as you board the plane.
As we take off, what kind of plane are we talking? Like a
Sorry,
airliner?
you get into a helicopter and
Okay.
then fly to the Raider Raid aircraft carrier. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, then in that case, as soon as the helicopter takes off, Amriel mutters to herself, "I need to be drunk immediately."
On
Breaking
that,
bones and hearts since the dawn of time.
Cut
to
to
Yuri.
Amriel and Yuri getting drunk on a beach as Yuri Facebook stalks his old life, and Amriel
No.
reads shitty
May
tabloid.
I make a
with
suggestion?
Yeah, go.
They're getting drunk at the bar in town, and Greg walks in. What are you guys doing in my favorite building?
Yeah, it's like a few days after that weird date that Greg went on.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just
Unless
as
you
Yuri's
really want to
just
split
like,
everyone.
Yeah, I imagine
No,
Yuri's
yeah.
in a drunken relationship.
Oh, yeah, they're
Yuri is like, it's funny because like between being a car and being a clone, I felt a lot less dead inside when I was a car.
Oh, that's deep, man. That's deep.
Yuri, Amriel, you've returned. And you're both in my favorite building in the world.
Hey, Greg, how's it going? You seem really chipper.
Oh, well, yes, TKS and I are making great progress on the faster than light drive, and I think I may have come up with a way to defeat the terrifying war zeppelins. It's a start, at least.
Oh.
How are you two doing?
Amriel holds up a bottle of Mexican beer that someone has dropped a lime and a shot of rum into, and says something like, "Oh, I'm about 10 or 12 deep now. It takes a lot more for me to get drunk than the average human."
Oh my.
How are you doing, Yuri?
Yuri just has his like face on the bar, and he's just like, with like
Yuri's been-
several dozens of empty bottles.
Yuri's been going at this for a while. He's a trooper.
Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that you two are going through trouble. If you need anything, I am here to help you. As I learned in the last few days, bros before hoes.
GM shakes head.
Everyone shakes head. Yuri's like, no, Greg.
That is like the worst thing you could have possibly said.
Of all of the things to learn on Earth, why that?
I'm sorry. It came up the other night. There was a human female who was interested in mating with me, and I was speaking with one of the who was it from TKS?
Ayumi, the pilot.
Ayumi, yeah. And I was speaking with Ayumi. He had a very similar reaction, and that's what the internet said, though. I'm starting to think that the internet might not be the bastion of human knowledge I thought it was.
Hang on. Yeah, that's a fact, Greg. Going back, the bit where someone wanted to mate with you?
Oh, yes, Isabella from the antigraph from the quantum mechanics team. I realized that she was perhaps romantically interested. I had to decline, though, and inform her that I do not have genitals, so a relationship, and since the goal of human relationships is the procreation of the species, it would just be a waste of her biological time.
She might have liked you for your brain, Greg.
I don't have that either.
I'm not a human, but that's awfully reductive.
What? Oh. I think I fear I may have made a mistake then.
I don't know. How do you feel about it? In a non-rational sense, Greg.
I hadn't thought about it in a non-rational sense. I'm still adjusting to I as an individual and having feelings. Isabella is quite intelligent, and she meets many human standard definitions for beauty.
You're sounding rational, Greg.
Oh, sorry. Well, I would look it up online, but apparently I shouldn't do that. This is all very confusing now.
If art clouds get drunk, Greg, I feel like maybe you should get a little drunk.
Oh, not on alcohol. I could use the alcohol to hyperionize my molecules, though. It has similar effects. It slows down my thought process within the cloud.
Here he's like, get drunk! As he's like halfway through explaining that.
Just shoves a beer into Greg's hand, and Greg
Shut up
shrugs.
and ionize, Greg.
Greg just, again, pours the entire beer down his throat, and then just opens his mouth a little wider and drops the bottle down in two. And then...
every time you
yes.
open your mouth, Greg, I feel like I'm staring back into hell.
I mentioned that.
I could lose my human
Fine.
form if that's more comfortable for you.
I don't know. I feel like sharing a beer with Bowie is one of my life goals.
Well, I know it looks very much like David Bowie, but it's not him. It is never mind.
Especially after David Bowie completed his grand ritual and pierced the veil to return home.
Right.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and has been taking people back with him one by one.
Well, David Bowie is a canon magical being in Base Raiders.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah,
the Council of Bowie.
The Council of Bowies who control alternate realities and shit.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It does. Go back in the RPPR actual play archives and listen to Bayou Beatdown. It's the game that got me into Base Raiders.
Okay.
And it has David Bowie got through such a massive party that he forgot where his secret base in the swamp was.
I'm sold. Okay.
That was they were testing out the base creation mechanics, and they just hit Ross with every ridiculous thing they possibly could, and he took it like a champ.
Oh, who's the owner of this? Oh, fucking vampire. What's it happening by? Confederate zombies. What was its original purpose? It was a
It was David Bowie's party mansion.
Yeah, it was David Bowie's party mansion.
Yeah, so Greg hyper-ionizes himself to get drunk with his only two friends.
Does hyper-ionizing himself make Greg's processes degrade? Is that how it is analogous?
That's what
to
I said.
drinking?
He hyper-ionizes himself, and it slows down the reaction in his cloud. It's the closest he can get to intoxication.
Okay. All right.
For all intents and purposes, he's drunk.
So, you guys wake up in the morning. There's a pig sniffing, gnawing. You know what? There's a pig gnawing on Emriel's wing.
Fuck off.
And there's a bunch of chickens all over all of you. Like there's just a bunch of chickens around you. They're pecking at you, and like there's one sort of on top of Yuri as he startles awake, and you startle the chicken, and it flaps
No,
and
they're like
freaks
and
out.
then there's like a cloud of chickens all like.
Yeah. Greg is just being fog around you, I suppose.
Yeah, the Greg's thing has his hard light thing has somewhat destabilized, so his head is gone and it's just a cloud.
Nice. So you look like the Doctor from the second Hellboy movie.
Yeah, he's just
Fuck yous, Emriel! Fuck yous!
Part of me wants to
Oh,
imagine that this scene is like we all like startle awake and then we're like, oh, when's the race? And then we just smashed that to us in the car, plummeting into a volcano.
We can do that if you guys want. I don't mind jumping to that, but you have made no prep on your
Nope.
car.
Nope.
I mean,
I think
I don't
that
know
would
what
be
it's
really dramatic and cool, but at the same time, you have a submarine car that you're going to drive into a volcano.
question,
Sounds like the worst idea.
I had a minor consequence from the last game. Is that gone?
Yes, sorry.
I thought so.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that.
Yeah? You're fine with smash cut to that?
Yeah, let's wing it.
All right, so has everybody here seen Snatch?
Yes.
No.
Okay, so it's what is the name of that guy?
Oh, Madonna's husband.
Guy Ritchie. It's a Guy Ritchie British crime film.
What's the name of that guy? Richie.
Yeah, indeed. But there's interesting transition scenes for when people are flying from America and that. So smash cut to you guys like zipping up your Yuri like zipping up his demon suit and Emriel like slotting weird shit into her cargo shorts. And Greg settling into the car being like, it's like the car has been filmed at half speed and then sped up to 1.5 speed of it being loaded into a plane, and then like a picture of a map of a plane like just like hovering over a map of the world roughly in the direction of Iceland.
So we got a trip.
And then you guys like zooming down a highway, slamming Raiderheads as you arrive at this massive,
all wearing like very heavy sunglasses.
Yeah, as you arrive at this massive cordon in Iceland, there's just fucking cars for like miles around, and you see this volcano looming in the distance, and you just roll up to the gate, and there's like a Raiderhead official there and a bunch of security people, and they're like, "Excuse me, sirs, we're gonna have to see some ID," and you roll down the windows and just
Flip
like,
on the bird and then drive through.
you flip on the bird. They're like, "Oh, Mr. Yuri, please go straight through. Let's open up the gates, guys!" And like you scrape the gates as you've already started driving through. And they're half open, and you roll up to near the staging area that's leading you up to the volcano, and like a bunch of Raiderade people are just swarming around your car, like applying new Raiderade stickers and stuff. And somebody like opens the boot and drops a pallet of, well, not a pallet, like a case of the new Raiderade in there. I think that Raiderade probably has some weird new. What is Dimension Gate's latest game? because that's going to be what the Raiderade edition is. It's some kind of crossover drink. You know, like how sometimes they have like Iron Man soft drinks
Mm-hmm.
when new Avengers movies come out. But rather than it being like a regional variant, it's a promotional variant. So what is
What if the
Dimension
game-
Gate Games' latest
New
video
Dimension
game?
Gate game is Hell Butcher 4: Return to the Butching Floor.
All right, so the drink is butcher juice.
It's just blood red.
Or just butch juice.
Butch juice? Yes,
Butch
butch juice so that it can have a cult following. What flavor
Good.
is butch juice?
Gross.
Pomegranate? It's got to be
Pomegranate?
really red.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, it
and
could be
like
blood
a
orange.
bit
Fucking
syrupy.
hell. Truck?
Molasses.
Molasses
Ooh.
flavored soft drink?
Molasses and pomegranate.
Pomegranate molasses.
Yep.
Ugh.
That's it.
Yep, okay. Secretly marketed as the blood of hell.
Of
Mhm.
course.
Is
Embryo.
actually molasses. How do you spell molasses? M-A-L?
Oh well.
Yeah,
Oh.
MOL.
Molasses. Okay.
MOLL. Molasses.
Molasses and pomegranate flavor.
Oh, and cinnamon.
Why would they use cinnamon to make it taste blood-like? Why would
It
they
wouldn't,
use
but it
salt?
would be spicy and mean.
Oh, okay. It's spicy and mean. Molasses, pomegranate,
With a hint
I was
of
just thinking of
cinnamon.
that shot
With
you
a-
had at the bar one
A
night.
hint of
Brian.
cinnamon, but they spell it S-I-N.
Oh,
Ah, yes. Sin.
With a hint of
omen.
with a hint of sin. Come on.
Hint of sin.
Come on.
Omen. That's easy. I just take out the C and add in an S, and then Google will be forever trying to correct it. Love it. I'm all about it. It's my favorite thing in life. Molasses.
Embryo, take-
Molasses has all
take
too
one.
many S's in it.
All
Just
too many
letters.
letters, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, that too. Way too many letters.
Well, you use it to make rum, so it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
They,
I will
they
not get into
distill it and get rid
weird.
of all the letters and they're just left with RUM.
I will not get into weird history fact about molasses. I will wait for this fucking garbage truck to roll past my window, though.
Oh, I don't hear anything.
Oh, you guys
Yeah.
can't hear it? I always feel like
No.
you should be able to hear that, considering that you can hear when people scream in the house. So,
Yeah.
okay, so there is, and a manager guy will. The manager dude walks up. She's like, and he's like, "Hey, ethereals," and he does finger guns.
What?
I flip him double bird in a finger gun's way.
It's like the Wiggles giving you the finger. And he's like, "Oh,
Hey.
wonderful, Yuri, baby." So, apparently, you guys had arranged to do a bunch of stuff, but we're about 4 hours away from race time, and race time, entry time. Not really gonna be a race, and I mean. And it's a 3-hour trip up the mountain. And apparently you guys booked yourselves to do a group piece interview.
What?
Mhm.
Since when?
I forgot to mention that, guys. I booked us for a group piece interview. Heads up.
So, I mean, there's not a lot of time for that, but you got half an hour to do any final checks before we before we push you up the mountain. So if there's anything you guys want, now's the time.
We want a description of what we're doing because we did not do that beforehand.
And
Is a half hour enough time for Greg to unsubmarine the car?
I don't know. We might still want that.
you might still need that. You don't know
That's true.
what's in the place you're going. Or you
I
know,
think most of what we want is some heat proofing.
yeah,
we
you
could
really
probably
need
use
some ceramic tile.
some heat shielding.
Is a half hour, would that be enough time for Greg to give the car some heat shielding?
I would allow that to be enough time for you to make ablative armor plating. You engineer some space shuttle tile. You probably saw
I
TKS is
have my
designed
crafting
for space
skill
shuttle
up to spend the
tile.
fate points.
Yeah.
I can give it 2. See, now I have to open up the file. I think I can give it 2
Improvements.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Double check base rate.
While I make sure that the aircon is working effectively.
Nice. So there, you guys are going to be basically camping in a primeval jungle for the next 5 days. So anything you can think of that you might want.
Do we know that? How much do we know?
Raiderheads mentioned in their press release that there was a lost jungle and forgotten people. Those are the 2 bits of information you have because we decided to do dramatic. You get so smashed that you need to jump cut to the race.
The submarine improvements are gone because the thing lets me add 2 improvements to an existing piece of equipment that lasts for the rest of the session, and we said it was for the duration of the race.
Yeah, because they're temporary. So you would have had to have changed all the wheels, for example, in order for it to become a car again. So yeah, that makes sense.
So we just have baseline car right now.
Yeah.
With whatever Yuri had added already. So I could spend a fate point to give it 2 improvements. So what do we want?
Heat shielding.
Yeah, heat shielding and another thing.
It's already got 4x4 stuff. Could give it a weapon.
Give it a weapon.
Camping gear? A fold-out tray.
Gear, you guys can have camping gear if you say it. That's a good thing to have. A tent, maybe some beds.
Yeah. Well, we'll have Raiderhead give us camping gear and whatnot.
You grab did we have like an outdoor camping sponsor thing? I don't think we do.
We had sunglasses.
If we don't, Amriel is just going to wander into the sponsors area and be like, "Hey, well, the Ethereals are accepting outdoor sponsors right now."
Well, we have an unnamed clothing company, so if that's like Kathmandu, for example, they do lots of outdoors clothing, but they also make like sleeping bags and shit. So let's say outdoor clothes, and I need a name for the outdoor clothes company that you, as you walk into the camping area, into the sponsors area, say, "Hey, we forgot to bring camping gear. Who wants to be a sweet sponsor?"
It has to be like named after something for the outdoors.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. Well, I mean, I just mentioned Kathmandu, so what's an Icelandic mountain?
That the Icelandic mountain that erupted a while ago? Let's Google what that's called, because it definitely needs to be called that, even though it's impronounceable.
In Icelandic mountain, I don't need guides. I just need looking for. No. I'm looking for mountain names.
Ajaf. Okay, I found it. I'm just gonna paste it into chat because
there are other more pronounceable mountains.
Yeah, it's
Hengil. I was thinking like Death Valley clothing.
I want it pronounced. Where's a Google pronunciation of it?
He put it into the email chat. No, I don't see it at all in either one.
I haven't put it in yet.
Oh, okay, good.
Here we go. Okay.
Oh wow. That is,
yep.
That sure is a word.
Jalajikul. That is the word. I don't know how to pronounce it.
What if they
hang on, here's a video. Wait.
Yodel suggested Catala because that is apparently the name of a volcano and a dragon.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I mean, I know it's not the one we want, but I think it sounds pretty fucking cool and it's pronounceable.
We can actually say it.
So I wanted to address an issue.
That almost sounds like Yodel.
Say it. Say it, person.
Say it, random internet person.
Here we go.
Trying to pronounce it right. So here it goes. It's Eyjafjallajökull. That's Eja Fjalla Jökull.
That doesn't help.
Yeah,
Ilya,
fuck you.
Ilya, fuck
Fatla,
Ilya.
Juice, whatever. Yeah, I lost it.
How about Aya?
How about?
EYJA.
How about?
I'm honestly fine with that being our sponsor for the point that no one can say it.
You know what? That's a good point. That's funnier.
We don't know how to pronounce this.
Like, they're like, who wants to be our sponsor? They're like, AR Kaspuidul. And we're like, you got it.
You got it. Just give us a fuck.
Give us the
You
sticker.
guys,
We need a sleeping bag.
we need a
then
sleeping
anytime
bag
we
and a
need to, like,
pronunciation key.
Name drop it in an interview. They just have to redub it.
Umbrella
So,
gets a
so
marker.
you guys do the promos, but you never mention the brand, and then they just have like their soothing James Earl Jones voice voiceover guy actually do the product name. So it's like ad runs, and then at the end it comes up with like a picture of their logo, and it and someone says, "Gulaga."
Oh, we
yeah,
just
yeah,
always
yeah.
have, or like Greg says it. So like in the bit, it's like
Oh yeah, Greg
talking.
could say it.
Yeah, Greg just
And then-
plays it.
And then yeah, but like Greg's mouth never has to move because Greg doesn't have a mouth.
Hey, Greg has a mouth. It's
Greg
just a
has a mouth.
hole that opens into his cloud.
Just a deep black maw of destruction.
Hey, sometimes you can see flashes of electricity from the inside.
Yeah, sometimes it looks like there's a thunderstorm in there.
Which isn't any way like I'm pretty sure there's a magic card for that. Mouth of Thunder feels like a magic card. So
Yeah, good. They're our sponsor.
they're like shaking your hands and somebody's handing you a contract and you're just fucking signing it. And they give you like one of those hiking packs, and it's got like a bunch of camping stove equipment and stuff like that in there, and then they hand you, we actually did a sponsorship to have some freeze-dried meals, and you're like, yeah, whatever, we're not gonna fucking eat it, why not, give it here.
So we need a second edition for our car too. So it gets heat shielding and
you could give it ludicrous storage, so like you attach a bunch of like over the top roof racks and like side racks. You give your car panniers.
what if we give it flight?
Remember, flight is restricted.
or we give it like not
flight's
so much
restricted,
flight, but like
getting
like
to the
parachuting. What about controlled falling?
I would allow controlled falling.
I was thinking more. Did you guys play the first Mass Effect?
A
Yes.
bit, yeah.
So jump jets, like the Maker has.
Yeah, like jump jet. So you could hover, I guess.
Right,
So
yep.
like if there's something in the way, we could hover over.
Right. So
Yep, and we can already jump.
give it
so-
the aspect.
That's
Give
true,
it the
yeah.
aspect. Volcano resistant armor and falling with style.
I like it.
Nice.
The car has those
I
aspects.
spent
I trust Finn to track those
I'm writing them down.
and just write temporary next to them.
I only have
I've
5.
got them written down as upgrade aspects.
Okay, cool. Sweet. And overwalks Sora as you guys are like, and she walks up to you and like, I was figuring we'd just talk about like your past. She's talking to Yuri. She's yelling over all these people trying to get you to sign shit before you jump in the car. Like trying to get you to sign contracts. I was like, so like, how about we just get this ball rolling? And you see a cameraman in the distance, and he's like piloting a drone over you because he couldn't get a camera close. Like,
Would you prefer I look like a human or a cloud?
Human, if you can. I think the viewers will. Anyway, let's just get started. So, like, what are you guys doing right now? You apparently just walked into the signing area. It said that you needed a new sponsor.
Yeah, we need some camping gear. We had a sponsorship opening. We decided to settle it now. We're very proactive business people. As I'm just like on all of these various contracts that I assume people are not legitimately thrusting at me. Is that what's happening?
There's
People just
only
trying to get me to like sign other sponsorships.
there were a bunch of people. Only the people.
Yeah.
You were like you said them, and then like a bunch of their marketing people stepped forward to get you to and lawyers to get you to sign the fucking sponsorship deal contracts. Because I imagine that a sponsorship deal contract normally has hundreds of pages.
Yeah. So they're like flipping through it, having us all of us like initial and sign in various places.
Greg's just like dissolving the paper to like his dissolving away a space where his signature would be.
I have hands now. I could sign.
Oh yeah, you could use a pen, I suppose. It's up to you.
What language you prefer I sign it in?
It doesn't really matter because names all look the same in whatever language you sign in.
Well, I'm not sure that's true. There are alien. Never mind.
If I sign in Gora Khatan, I will have to build an edifice of your dead in order to sign.
I'm going to sign it in. I'm going to prove their point wrong and sign it in Egyptian hieroglyphics because, as we established in the first game, I know ancient Egyptian.
You do, in fact, know ancient Egyptian. That's fine. Again, like you can sign contracts with symbols as long as you are known by that symbol.
Damn.
And it is consistent. So, literally, you can sign with hieroglyphics if that's what you always sign contracts with.
Well, I guess this is literally the first time Greg has signed anything. So far, it's pretty consistent.
That's not true. It's just the first time you've signed something on screen.
Amriel signs with glowing.
First time he's had hands to sign stuff.
That's true, actually. That's a fair point. You probably had someone sign for you previously.
Yeah.
Amriel signs the contract with glowing runes that represent a demonic alias that she is known by, not her true name.
And you can't really look at them, otherwise your eyes start to burn.
Weirdly, the lawyers don't seem to have any difficulty looking at it.
And Yuri just signs with like "Get fucked, X Yuri."
Yuri's
I think which he has been actually signing things since when he was an actual res driver.
Nice, because Yuri's punk AF. So why did you? I'm guessing it looks like you guys just pulled this stunt because you didn't have any of the equipment you needed. Am I reading that situation right?
No.
You can read it however you like.
Why did you guys choose to wait until 4 hours before the race started to show up? You're normally way more punctual than this.
Amriel?
It was a series of questionable decisions, mostly fueled by alcohol.
I love that show. Says one of the lawyers. A series of questionable decisions.
That's new on Netflix. Neil Patrick Harris is in it.
Yeah, exactly. He plays Uncle Decisions.
I was working very hard on trying to advance faster than light travel and lost track of time.
Wow.
Yeah, weren't we all? I know that feeling.
We were working hard, mostly focusing our resources on the last race. We have a hell of a plan for the moon run, let me tell you. It's gonna be.
And there was all the drinking we did.
It's a good thing drug testing is not a thing.
And they're like, it's all the drinking we did, and then I'm like, drink Raiderade. And then go to Skull, one of this promotional ones, and it like oozes out like
it's like fucking you have a delicious can of Raiderade butch juice.
And then I like bare my teeth, and they're just covered in like bloody viscous goo.
Get a mouthful of butch juice. Suck it down.
This episode has taken a turn.
I look at my wrist, which is a demonic armor arm, and I'm like, okay, so we're pretty pressed for time.
Can I make one suggestion?
Yeah, go for it.
Raiderade Butch Juice, because it's so viscous, it's not in a can. It's one of those drinks in a bag.
Yep.
So you can squeeze it out.
Squeeze it out.
Yeah.
They sell there's versions of Absolute Vodka that are sold like that. so that you can like throw them in your freezer, and so you have
Yep.
like a bag of slushy. I don't know if you have that in America. I would assume you would.
I don't think we have bag vodka.
I don't know.
There you go.
Australia's pretty good at drinking innovations.
That's true. We're real innovative. We're on the forefront of bagged alcohol.
We
Although you
are,
can't get-
honestly.
You can't get bagged beer here, though.
I feel like
We
it's
have
a gross
boxed wine.
oversight.
We have boxed wine,
Yeah, you don't call it
but
green
not bagged
beer.
Yeah,
alcohol.
You don't have sweet code names for it. You don't have entire
A very
game
cultural,
based
a very
around it.
broad culture around it.
No.
Goon is an integral part of Australian culture. Arguably the
Australian
only
drinking
part.
culture.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, we're pretty pressed for time. Any more questions?
Yeah.
I say, looking at my demon arm watch.
So I just wanted to ask Greg about like why he's building this FTL thing. Didn't you mention that you were trying to save your
Yes. Well, you see, as I was making my way here from my home planet, it was a multiple year journey, and my race was enslaved to power the war zeppelins of the Zikloth. So I am using the base that we scavenged from Paris to convert it into a spaceship that will allow me to travel home and free my species from oppression. But to do so in a timely fashion, and that doesn't take centuries, I need to invent a faster engine to propel the mass of the ship at relativistic speeds. Faster than light would, of course, be the
At
most
this
preferable.
point, I get in the driver's seat and I'm like, okay, we gotta go. Ziggy Stardust, get in.
Anyway,
Emriel, I just had
my
one
species.
question. I just had one question for you, Emriel, before you leave.
Okay.
Vroom, and I
what
like
do you
rev
s-
excessively.
What do you say to the allegations that you broke up with, or rather, to the suggestions that you and Alexandra Remington have broken up? Is there any truth to these statements, to these rumors?
I lean out the window, and I'm like, I thought you treated these matters with discretion.
Hey, look,
I
you
throw the
guys
door
wanted
open for Amriel.
to rush off, and I had one last question. So I thought I'd go for the one that would actually sell copy.
I
Friends,
thought you were behind tabloid journalism, but
Amriel, Yuri, I think I may have actually learned something that is applicable for this situation. Greg opens the car door, turns around, looks at the reporter, and says, "Go fuck yourself," and then gets in and closes the door.
Brilliant.
High five, Greg. Put the car in gear. and then tear off.
Amriel just shrugs and she goes, "You heard the cloud," and then gets in the car.
Cut to you guys at top of mountain with camping gear strapped to your spider-legged Datsun, standing on the precipice of a burning inferno.
Oh, it's an active volcano?
Well, it's active in a very loose sense. It's not currently erupting.
But it's hot. Okay.
Oh, it's hot. You can see lava. You don't really understand how you're meant to get down in there.
It's active in the volcanic terminology, general sense.
Yeah, but it's not
erupted in the last
erupting.
20 years. Yeah.
Okay.
And you're
Not a place you want to go driving into. Gotcha.
and you see there looks like TKS have their car from the earlier races, and true survivors are riding in their on their dirt bikes and their Land Cruisers. The Valkyrs have brought something a little different this time. They have kind of like these tri-wheeled capsule motorcycles. So it's got like two wheels at the front and then one wheel at the back, and you sort of straddle it like a street bike. But
like
it's sort of
those spider things.
yeah, and it's sort of encapsulating them to a degree. It's a weird looking bike. And there's like a bunch of gear strapped to it, and then they've got like lots of these ablative tiles all over it. Everyone seems to have gone for tiles because it was a good choice of material, and because TKS invented a volcano-proof tile for an earlier race in a previous season. And so, like, everyone just went, yeah, we'll have a shipment of 20,000 volcano-proof tiles, please. All right. And then there is a black, kind of looks like a tank with no turret towards the front. And you see, like, the Scout Team 1 people walking up like, all right, new entry protocol for this race. This is a sort of a camping out in the underground situation. You guys are going to follow us down a path to the bottom of the mount, to the bottom of the caldera. Now, we're going to have to move quickly. There's going to be a lot of geological activity going on. And when we get to the lava tubes, you guys are going to have to race through. We want to get some excitement before the boring camping. So, when we get to those lava tubes, we're just going to pull off to the side of the road. That is your cue to accelerate through. Now, the order for this is going to be Valkyrs in front, followed by True Survivors, followed by TKS, followed by Ethereals. We have done this to handicap you, as the Ethereals have won every race this series. All right. Good. Let's get rolling. And then they climb into their tank. And they start driving down the rickety path. And I think that'll be where
make
we
sure
end
to
it.
roll up your windows, otherwise the heat shielding won't work.
Good to know, Greg.
Good tip.
I feel like the windows, as you have rubbed weird ceramic goop all over them, they probably can't even be rolled down.
Just in case.
In
case anyone tries to crack a window.
Yeah. Nope. There's probably like a tiny slit in the ceramic covering of the main windshield too.
I think Greg's like, don't wind down the windows, and I wind my window fully up, and I'm like, all right, guys, no farting, and then lock eyes with Greg.
Greg, the sentient fart.
You know I cannot help
That's
it.
offensive.
We have a question from the fans. Amriel, how accurate to Demon's Blood is Butch Juice?
Ooh.
I was gonna say before that Amriel takes a can of it or a bag of it, as we've since established, and kind of looks at it and shrugs and squeezes most of it into her mouth, and then just has this grimace, and she goes, "Wrong, close, but wrong."
What was the name of the movie of the game again? It was Hell something.
Hell Butcher 4, Return to the Butching Floor.
Right, Hell Butcher 4. You know what? They probably spell it IV.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Return to the Butching Floor or Butcher Floor?
The Butching Floor.
Butching Floor.
Which is why it's called Butch Juice.
Yeah. Butching Floor, because that doesn't sound like the shittiest level of a gay nightclub ever. Not because there's anything wrong with butch people, just because it sounds uncreatively named.
It does. I feel like the main character in the game's name is Butch as well.
Yeah. Butch Sundance.
No, Butch. It's Butch Alighieri. He's a distant descendant of Dante.
So this is perhaps a spin-off of the Dante's Inferno video games?
Sure.
Dimension Gate Games bought the property. Did I check whether Dimension Gate Games was real?
I don't think you did.
It sounds real, and I'm worried.
It does
that
sound
it's
real.
Are you
video
thinking of
game
Lionsgate Studios?
No. Oh, Dimension
Oh.
Gate is a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah. I just googled Dimension Gate games.
I feel like I'm thinking now, right? The series goes Hell Butcher 1, Butcher's Inferno, Hell Butcher 2, Sausage Sizzle.
What?
Yeah, it was a little more camp.
Yeah, and then Hell Butcher 3.
Hell Butcher
like
3 was just the revamp.
the rack?
It was just called Hell Butcher,
Yeah.
Yep,
and then they just went back to Hell Butcher 4.
Yeah, like
Turned into the Butcher 4.
Hell Butcher.
yeah, and that's
the
why
third
Hell Butcher 4 is
game.
called Back on the Butchering Floor.
Yeah, it was
Hell Butcher 3 was just spelled Hell Butcher, except the E in Butcher was a 3.
Yeah, it's like Alien.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it was a return to the darker tone. And then the fourth one is even darker.
So
To the
grimdark.
point where adjusting the brightness and contrast does nothing.
And I'm imagining the gameplay as it's essentially like a hell diving slash like hack and slash, but if hell was a demonic nightclub.
Yes, definitely.
Mhm.
You know, that's what the kids are into. They're into all those nightclub fighting sims.
Yep.
Yeah.
We just wanted to bring them a traditional Helldiver game. You know, I don't appreciate the roots of video games in the Base Raiders universe. Oh, Helldiving, my favorite genre of video games. I love the way the camera angle is like from your back right ankle up.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the best way to view a fight scene. It makes it so much easier to control.
And all the camera just gets covered in blood.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool.
I love it.
Good.
So you guys are in a convoy rolling down into the volcano, and we'll pick up the game next time. I thought that was an all right way to get back into Base Raiders.
Yeah.
Set up a bunch of, especially the last half hour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're so screwed for this one.
we are.
I think it's a brilliant plan.
I look forward to the fact that this is just going to be like a character bonding camping trip.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Or that.
It's going to be a nice camping trip.
We're just going to cook s'mores with TKS and the True Survivors,
Yeah.
But you know,
while the Valkyries try and kill us all.
And plan
And,
raids
we
on the
swap camp
Valkyries
stories.
camp.
Yeah.
but it's like a normal company camping trip, except the mosquitoes are 4 feet long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Australian
actually,
camping trip.
that's what I'm looking forward to. It's like a camping road trip movie, but
Yeah. It's just
in
a
the
normal
Hollow
trip
Earth.
to Newcastle University if there's mosquitoes that big.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so funny. They were planning to try and wipe out all the mosquitoes on the Newcastle University campus, and then it turned out that the particular mosquito that lives there is only found there, and so they can't
They can't.
exterminate it.
Oh my
Even
God.
though mosquitoes have almost no purpose in the ecology. But it's a rare species. Anyway.
Hey,
Good.
mosquitoes kill humans. That's what they do.
Yeah, they're an important human predator. I can't wait for that. All right, brilliant. Thank you all for listening. And if you'd like to see more from us, you can go check us out on WordPress, SoundCloud, iTunes. We're up on iTunes. We've got a Google Plus community. We're also on Twitter, where you can contact. I believe all of us have Twitters, which wouldn't take much effort for you to find. And of course, we're also over on Patreon, where we have a varying amounts of rewards. And by supporting us on Patreon, you gain access to behind-the-scenes information, early podcast episodes, opportunities to play with us, as well as the chance to help us start a gaming republic in the Australian outback. So, by all means,
We'll get there one day.
indeed, we will start that micronation, the micronation of games.
Viva la RPG!
Yes, it is the right of all sentient people to have access to role-playing games. But yes, check us out on all of those, and we love to hear from you. So please leave us a comment and share this and other podcasts that you enjoy with your friends. Farewell from the past. I'm Raymond.